Salut SD and welcome to your second lesson on talking about a work experience placement. We'll follow on and recap some of the work that you did last lesson and build up some new things so that eventually, hopefully by next week, you'll be able to put together a little passage to describe a work experience placement in full. Let's get started. Task 1, you have 9 phrases in French. They're all tasks that you might do in a placement, and on the right hand side you've got their English equivalents, so it's simply a case of matching them up. I would say it would be a good idea though to write out the French and the English in your vocab jotter rather than simply just writing the numbers and the letters, just so you've got it to refer to for exercises that follow, and then when you come to write your own thing it would be handy to have the full list there so you've got a variety of tasks to choose from when you come to write your own passage. Okay, so last lesson we looked at how you form the imperfect tense and I showed you the endings that are there in the blue box. Okay, I told you that you needed to take the new form of the present tense of the verb that you wanted to use and then take the ONS away from that and instead add on the endings for the different people that you're talking about as listed here. So if you look at the examples that I've given you, il répondait au téléphone would be how you'd say he used to answer the phone. Nous faisions du café, we used to make the coffee. Il prenait des réservations would be they used to take the bookings, the reservations. So combining the vocabulary that was on the second slide and this table of endings, I want you to see if you can put these sentences into French by taking the verbs that are in the present tense on the second slide and changing them into the imperfect tense. So you would need to work out what the new form would be, remove the ONS, and then use this table to help you put on the right ending for who it is that you're talking about. So revising, making sure that you know what each of your subject pronouns mean as well. Okay, you've got lots of notes on this in various different jotters, so look back. If you're unsure, this is something that you can ask me about when we have the live check-in on Friday. Okay, for task 3, what I want you to do is to match up the French to the English. So you've got the French phrases on the left hand side and the English on the right. Again, it's just tasks that you might do or talking about the daily routine of a work experience placement in the past using the imperfect tense. So again, I would really like you to write these out in full so that you've got them there for a reference, because as I said, you will at some point be writing your own little passage. Task 4, you've got 6 different people talking about placements that they did. So on the big table at the top, you've got them saying where it was that they did their work experience. In the grid that's underneath, you've got sentences that are numbered and sentences that have got letters at the start, and they are given a bit more detail about what that person did during those placements. Now, the left hand side needs to match up with something from the right hand side to make a full sentence. Okay, so that's a sentence beginning and a sentence ending, and you need to put those sentences together and then decide which person that they go best with depending on where the placement was. Okay, so the first one's done for you, and if you look, it says 2D under what Lydie says. Okay, she did her placement in an office of a factory that made electronic products. So if you look underneath it, what 2D would say is je classais des fiches et je faisais des photocopies, which means I filed the documents and I made photocopies. So that's what she did working in the office. So one step might be to match up the sentence beginnings and endings. First of all, trying to look at ones that would make sense together, and then applying it to the correct person by working out where it is that each person works. This is quite a tricky task. There's a lot going on here. So if you need help, again, Friday would be a good time and we can do it together if you need it. Okay, so far we've been focusing a lot on reading and understanding and writing. So this time I want you to focus on your listening skills. You've got a clip there to a little YouTube video clip, sort of animation, and it's somebody talking about their work experience. So I want you to answer these questions in English. The marks in the brackets tell you how many bits of information we're looking for. Obviously, you're doing it at home, you can listen to it as often as you want, pause it and rewind it as often as you want, but normally if you're thinking about what it would be like in school, or if you're preparing for what it would be like in future years when you might have an exam or a test, then you usually 3 times is the standard for trying to get the information. So try and see if you can do it in that time scale, but obviously, you know, it's up to you. You work at your own pace. Okay, so one of the final elements that we're going to put into our piece of writing is talking about what we thought of the experience, whether it was something that we enjoyed or that we got a lot out of, or whether it was something that we didn't really feel was enjoyable. So you've got 8 statements here, which sum up an opinion of the experience. What I want you to do is to make a column that's positive and a column that's negative in your vocab section, and copy down these phrases and categorise them into what you think is the appropriate column. Is it a positive comment or is it a negative comment? And add the English meaning. So the first one is quite obvious. C'était une expérience positive means it was a positive experience, so that would be your first one to go in your positive column. Okay? And this is just the second part of the same activity. So again, just categorising, and you'll have a huge list to choose from when you want to go on and do your own piece of writing. So you'll be spoilt for choice of what to say. So that's almost us for this week. In order for me to just check that you have learnt something, what I'd like you to do is to write down 2 sentences in French, imagining that you had a work experience placement, and writing 2 tasks that you used to do, and also one of your sentences saying what you thought of the experience. If possible, try and do this without looking at any of your notes, just so I can see what's going on in your head, what you've actually taken in, and that way I'll be able to see if there's anything that we need to look at in a bit more detail or go over again. Okay, hopefully you'll manage to check in on Friday, and we can answer any questions or go over any parts of these 2 lessons that you're not sure of. Okay, look forward to seeing you then. Au revoir.